Hello, Internet. Today I'd like to talk about the Matthew Shepard Act. Matthew Shepard was a college student in Wyoming, and about 20 years ago, he was the victim of a very violent crime. Because of his sexuality, Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson decided to take him out to a secluded area, tie him to a fence, beat and rob him, all because they perceived him as gay. According to the Justice.gov website, the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act of 2009 criminalizes willfully causing bodily injury or attempting to do so with firearms, or other dangerous weapon when the crime was committed because of the actual or perceived race, color, religion, national origin of any person, or the crime was committed because of the actual or perceived religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, or disability of any person, and the crime affected interstate or foreign commerce or occurred within federal, special, maritime, and territorial jurisdiction. Now, this is important. That last part is important because what that means is that as long as the hate crime happens over state lines, or it happens on federal land, or at a federal facility, then the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act of 2009 kicks in. Now, I believe that this act is way too limited. I mean, good God. It's a federal law, but it has to happen on federal land, which means that the states have to pony up protection for the LGBT communities. This does not protect you if you're just walking down the street. Someone could be yelling ugly, transphobic slurs at you. This act would not protect you if that person were beating the crap out of you. Now, beating the crap out of you would be a crime to begin with, but you wouldn't have that extra protection because you're part of a minority. This does not do that, and it kind of pisses me off. As far as how prevalent hate crimes are, now, first off, it's important to take into account that the LGBT community is really small to begin with, and transgenders are even smaller group. In Utah, I've been told that we make up 0.4% of the population. Now, you think about that, that means in about every 1 in 200 individuals that you run into is trans in some way, shape, or form. That is a minuscule community. Based on the FBI.gov website, our community, as of 2017, because they haven't come out with the 2018 statistics yet, there were a total of 132 hate crimes that the FBI was able to take care of. 132. That's not 132 hate crimes committed. That's 132 hate crimes that could be prosecuted by the FBI. That's it. That's all. Now, it's important to remember Matthew Shepard in all of this. When I was a child, I heard a very distorted nightmare story. Back when all of this happened, older kids at school were telling me a story about how this sissy boy had been lashed to a fence and left out in the scorching heat to die. There were a lot of inconsistencies with their story. A ton of inconsistencies. However, the general gist of the story was true. Now, as a trans girl who was still hiding in the closet, so desperately in the closet, that story had put the fear of God into me. I mean, it informed the fact that I needed to go deeper into the closet. I needed to hide even more. As a child, I didn't fit in anywhere. But because of Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson, I feared for my life when I was 12. 12 years old, I feared for my life. I thought these kids, if they found out, would murder me. That I would be the next person to be barbed wired to a fence and brutally murdered. Now, was Matthew Shepard a saint? No. God, no. No. But no one deserves to be attacked like he did. No one deserves to have their sexual orientation or gender identity used as a reason for horrible atrocities like this. And that is what the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act was all about. It took them a long time to get this thing through the House, through the Senate, up to the President's office, and I mean, even George W. Bush had said if this ever makes it to his desk, he would veto it. Now, it was attached as a rider to another piece of legislation. This video was for educational purposes. I hope you take the knowledge that you gleaned from this video and apply it to your voting. Now, I know we just had elections here recently and that this was nowhere near getting onto the ballot, but things don't change unless people know something's wrong, and this is wrong. The Matthew Shepard Act. The same Matthew Shepard who was just interned at the National Cathedral because his parents wanted him to have a safe place to rest. That same Matthew Shepard. His act really doesn't begin to cover what it should. Now, as always, if you liked this video or thought it was informative, please click the like button. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. It means a lot for the channel, especially since right now the channel is tiny. I plan to upload on a more regular basis from here on out, and I hope that you join me for the next video. Thanks!